فَاسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ الَّذِي خَلَقَهُنَّ. Allahu Akbar. Prostrate unto Allah that created them. Do not prostrate unto the creation, but rather prostrate to the one that created the creation. طيب. So here the Shaykh Hafidhahullah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he say that these are from the description of the believers. He say فَالتَّوَكُّلْ عِبَادَةٌ عَظِيمَةٌ. He say tawakkul is a great act of worship. عِبَادَةٌ عَظِيمَةٌ. He say لا تكون إلا لله عز وجل. It should not be directed to none but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One should not be putting his trust, right, in no one except in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He say لأنه هو القادر. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is the only one that has the full ability to do anything that he want to do. Allah is Al-Qadir, meaning the only one that has the full ability. The full ability. طيب, the qudra of Allah. مثلا, if we are asked, what is the difference between qudratullah wa qudratul khalq? What is the difference between the ability of Allah and the ability of the people? What is the difference between the ability of Allah and the ability of the people? Farid. Very good. The ability of the people is limited. Ahsanta. Amma the ability of Allah is unlimited. He has full ability. Number 2. Ahsanta. Very good. My man. 50 grand. That the ability of the people is created. But amma the qudra of Allah غير مخلوق. ولماذا? Because Allah is غير مخلوق. Because Allah is not created. Is not created. Very good. So he mentioned that لأنه, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Qadir. He is the only one that has the full ability. The full ability, meaning no limitation on the brother's side. Jazahullahu khairan. He said, ala kulli shay, upon every given thing. Do you and I have ability for everything? We don't. We don't. If you were entrusted to feed these people that are here in this room for a whole week, you might reach out to your what you call it, to your savings. Or you might even quit. Or you might move out of town. Because your ability is very limited. But subhanallah al-azim, look, ever since Allah created the creation, up ila yawm al-qiyamati, He is the one that is responsible for their sustenance, for their nourishment, for their health, for their well-being, for their safety, for everything. If this was entrusted to the president, you think it's going to happen? If this was entrusted to the police, you think this is going to happen? If this was entrusted to the army, you think this is going to happen? No. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Shaykh Hafidhahullah, he say, وَهُوَ الْمَالِكِ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is Al-Malik. He is the owner of everything. He is the owner of everything. He is the owner of everything. Everything. وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَقْدِرُ أَنْ يَحْقُقُ لَكَ مَطْلُوبُكَ. And He is the only one that has the ability to bring about what you are seeking. He is the only one. يُحَقِّقْ لَكَ, to realize, to bring into realization for you what you are seeking, what you are going for, what you are seeking. He is the only one that can, barakallah fikum, bring that to be for you. Nobody else. Nobody else. If they would have put all the U.S. Treasury Department in front of you, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not intend for you to realize, you will never realize it. If they would have given you the whole U.S. Treasury Department, and Allah decreed that you will not have a house that you own, you ain't going to have a house that you own. You won't have a house that you own. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that you will have a house that you own, Akhi, even if you broke, dead broke, akhi, the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't yet have the ability to come to know what are the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why he mentioned, وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُهُ شُوف مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ, in a way that you don't know. Don't you ask yourself sometime, man, I didn't see this coming. Subhanallah. Man, I don't know how this come, man. I mean, the whole day, man. I mean, the whole month it was tight, but akhi, one day, Allah bless you with that which was maybe 3 months you will not have that with you. And so therefore the reliance upon Allah, this is why the ulama, they mention that the reliance upon Allah, at-tawakkul ala Allah, it is like the head for what is the head for the body. Relying upon Allah, it is what is the head for the body. Reliance for the believer upon Allah. Reliance upon Allah for the believer. It is what the head is for the body. Akhi, if a person, his head is cut off, except that he's sarahullah, he will not make it. Next time I'm going to say the full hour, okay? Don't worry, Muhammad. If a person loses his head, it's over. If a person loses tawakkul, it is over. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he say, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا Shuf, and he bring the condition, in kuntum mu'minin, if you are believers. And akhi, if a person knows that Allah is Al-Qadir, He is the one that has the full ability of every given thing, and He is the owner of everything, why would he stress himself out? Why would he stress himself out? Just because things are tight. Akhi, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. This is how the things rotates between the people. Alhamdulillah, today, you had a good day. This month, you had a good month. This year, it was a good year for you. Don't expect that the next 50 years will be all the same. There's a proverb in what they say, it is not every day that your father will kill a cow. It's not every day that your father will kill a cow. Right? So the Shaykh Hafidhahullah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, he say, and finishing with this point, he mentioned, he say, لأنه هو القادر على كل شيء وهو المالك لكل شيء. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the one that has the full ability for everything. And He is the one that owns everything. He is the one that owns everything. And as we mentioned for what we mentioned for Al-Qudr, we mentioned the same as that Al-Malik. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He owns everything. Everything. Amma our ownership, it is, whether it is limited by place or by time. Our ownership is limited, whether by time or by place. What we own, it is limited, barakallahu fikum. Whether limited by the time or limited of the place, meaning where you own it. The individual can have this house, but he doesn't have the next house. So his ownership is restricted to the place. Or the individual, barakallahu fikum, can own this for 10 years, but the 11th year after that, he's broke. Alaykum as-salam. So therefore the Shaykh Hafidhahullah, he say, Amma al-makhluq, as now in regard to the creation. Because he mentioned about the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator. But now he say, Amma the creation. طيب فإنه لا يقدر. He doesn't have the ability. Shuf, the creation. They do not have the ability to bring about what are your requests. The creation, they do not have the ability to bring about your request or what you're seeking after. They don't have the ability to do so, barakallahu fiqh. طيب. So he mentioned فَإِنَّكَ, for you will put your trust, you will entrust in that which is qada'u shay. You will entrust him in fulfilling or carrying out something. طيب, fi qada'u shay, in something. You will delegate him in doing something from the matters. Shuf, from the matters. You will delegate him to be doing something from the matters. He say, lakin, but the reality is, he say, tatawakkal ala Allah. But the reality is that you will put your trust in Allah. Amma, the creation, you can entrust them with something. Just like how you're going to entrust your son. Listen, before we go to bed, make sure that all the lights and the stove is off. And alhamdulillah, this is one of the things that we will teach our children, to be responsible, to feel some type of responsibility in the house. That this is me to do the last check. Before I go to bed, I must go and look if the stove is off, must go and look if the refrigerator is closed well. I must check if the lights, they are all off. So this is my responsibility in the house. So you entrusted him with that. Right? Of course you ain't going to tell him, hey, you got to pay the rent next month. And the man is like in 2nd grade or 3rd grade. But you can entrust him with certain things from the affairs. That's why he say, fi qada'i shay min al-umur, in carrying out certain things. He say, but now the reality is that we tatawakkal, you the individual, you will put your trust in Allah fi husuli dhalika shay. But now achieving that thing, you're going to put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you can entrust someone, but your trust, you will put it on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can entrust someone in doing this, but your trust, you put it in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those that will put their trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala da'iman wa abadan fi ayyi halin wa ala kulli halin. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those that will be establishing His rights and solely for Him, and only seeking His pleasure yawm al-qiyamah and in this life. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those that will see His face yawm al-qiyamah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide our beloved ones, to guide them to the sunnah, to guide them to tawheed, to guide them to salafiyyah. Wa sallallahu wa sallama ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allah yabarak feek.
He's tired. He's been out with me all day since Juma.